Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nicole, and thank you so much for the love that you've shown. Over the past few months, I've not been posting videos, but you guys have been watching my content, commenting, and subscribing. So for that reason, I'm committed to posting more videos. This is one of the first videos this year, and let's go direct to the topic of the day. Today we're going to look at how to manage funds and how you're able to cope with tough economic times. So many people are going through difficult times with their finances at the moment, and we're going to look at how you can easily adjust without necessarily having other sources of income. And this applies to people already with an income. Let's look at some of the tips I have that worked really well for me, and I hope they're going to be helpful to you. Tip number one, accept your financial situation. At the moment, you need to understand that you're not able to spend money carelessly without thinking of your future or the next day. You don't spend money like it has been poured at your doorstep. You need to understand that you need to be disciplined with the way you're spending, and this does not necessarily mean that you need to affect the quality of life you live, but you need to be wiser and know where to put your money. Number two, you need to understand that no matter how much you're earning, you're still able to save and live quality life, and you need to be mentally stable for this. So I think so many people take mental stability, mental health for granted, but this is a very important thing. It's the most important thing. I think mental health is underrated, and people need to understand that you need to be mentally stable and mentally healthy to be able to live comfortably and be able to work and earn and spend. So if you need to read books, if you need to watch content that is going to take your mental health to another level, please do that. If you need to see a therapist, please do that. The other tip is you need to have a budget. It might not improve the way you spend, but it will help you understand where you stand financially, and it will also help you decide if you're happy with wherever your money is going and where you're taking your money. So it's another major step that you need to take. After that, you need to plan on how you can minimize your expenses, your monthly expenses. For example, if from tracking your expenses you realize that you spend this amount of money on food when you go to your place of work, you need to look for alternative ways of minimizing your costs without necessarily starving. So one of the ways to do that is carry food to the office. So I find it cheaper just buying a lot of food in the house, making sure that you won't lack food in your house. After shopping, of course, you'll be cooking every day. Try and make cooking your hobby if it's not, and if it's not, try and cook every day. Make sure you have enough portions to take you through to the next day, so that you can carry an extra portion to the office. Make snacks like mandazi you can bake, and make sure that you have something to snack for breakfast. You can make smoothies, you can carry fruits to the office. This will help you cut your cost, because if you're hungry, as much as you might skip lunch, you'll find that on your way home you'll find some snacks on the way. You'll find smokies, you'll find mayai pasua, you'll find something on the streets that you can buy it, and you will end up spending more money than you imagined you would spend on that day. So carry food to the office. that will save you a lot. Another way to cut down your cost is use alternative modes of transport. I do understand the convenience that come with, you know, using your private car to your workplace, but to be honest, sometimes it doesn't make economic sense, especially if you're trying to cut down on expenses. And I want to be specific on what I'm talking about. If you're driving to the CBD, there is parking fee. Unless it's free parking, I feel like the parking fee in the CBD is quite high, and you've not factored in the fuel that you're going to use to your place of work. So if it doesn't if it's not necessary, you don't have to drive all the way. You can use a matatu, you can use the train. I know not everyone lives in a place where you can find a train, but if you're using a route with a train, you can consider that as a mode of transport. It saves you a lot of time and money as well. Another thing you can do is look for other modes of entertainment. Most people in Nairobi mostly, and people living in urban areas, find themselves preferring to go out every weekend and drinking and using a lot of money. And there are other ways of having fun. There are recreational facilities near your area. You can join a local football team and play. You can get into activities like swimming and cycling, and you'll not be bored over the weekend. Drinking is a bad habit, and sometimes you become an alcoholic without knowing. You might find yourself getting into drugs because that was the only mode, that was the only way of entertaining yourself. And it's good to know your limits. If you don't have money, you don't have to go out drinking over the weekends. You can maybe minimize the amount, the number of times you go out to clubs and spend a lot of money, to maybe once a month or when it's absolutely necessary. So you can use for other alternative ways to entertain yourself. You can go to the play you can go to the local theater and watch a play, or you can watch a film. You can stay in the house and invite friends over, have a proper meal, watch movies and just have fun. It's good to always get entertained, but you need to look for healthy ways of entertaining yourself without necessarily having to spend so much money. Looking at your budget will also help you realize, know where you spend money unnecessarily, and you can actually look for places you're putting money and you can actually avoid. For example, if you're using cable TV, you might be paying for TV and you don't watch TV that much. And we talked about being honest to yourself. You know, if you really need to pay for cable TV, if you need to pay for internet, if you're using unnecessary electronics in your house, you need to look at these things and know where those that you can avoid, and those that you can maybe you can even take a cheaper package from your internet provider. It will help you cut down on your expenses. You can take, sometimes you may be paying for internet monthly and realize that you don't even spend so much time in the house, so you can survive with the monthly bundles that maybe you can buy monthly bundles on your phone. And the advantage with that is that you will walk around with your bundles and come back to the house with your bundles. And mostly, if you have internet at your workplace, you might not be spending so much time on the internet on your way to work or when you're back to the house. Maybe during the weekend you can buy bundles that will expire after 3 days or after 2 days. Another thing is save on energy. might have so many electronics. Sometimes you have the fridge on and you're not even storing things inside your fridge. Sometimes you take so much time in the shower and you leave the shower running and you're not using the water running down, and at that time the heater is consuming power, and this is power that you will need to pay for. So if you're not using the shower, and just turn it off. Also weigh options. If boiling water using the electric kettle will save you money as compared to boiling water using the gas cooker. So if you see if your electric kettle is consuming so much power, you can boil water using the gas cooker. It's not that much. Another thing to cut down on cost is closely managing your bills. For example, there is NHIF, there is rent. There are those things that you pay monthly, and there are those things that attract penalties. So if you need to set a reminder to help you avoid such penalties, please do, because penalties are expenses that we've not planned for, and that's what you're trying to avoid. Another thing to help you cut down on your cost is maximizing on the non-cash assets. For example, supermarkets give you loyalty points, and you're able to redeem that for cash. So most supermarkets in Kenya, there's Naivas, there's Carrefour, there's Quick Mart. All those supermarkets have those loyalty point cards. So when you shop, try and maximize. If you're not saving money by buying things outside the supermarket, you can always try as much as possible to shop at the supermarket, because those points will help you at a point where you'll be needing cash and you don't have. So try and maximize the value of those things. We also have Bonga Points by Safaricom, and also Airtel has Bonga Points. I don't know what the Airtel Bonga Points are called, but I use Safaricom most of the time, so I have Bonga Points, and I've been able to redeem that for cash several times, and that really helps me when I need cash the most. So maximize on that as well, take advantage of that. And Safaricom has made it easy for you to just go to any shop and pay using the Bonga Points. Something that most people are suffering from is getting into debts. Honestly, borrowing has become a disease, and I thought in the past that I'm immune to these borrowing habits, but I got so used to Fuliza by Safaricom, and I find myself using Fuliza for the most unnecessary things in this world. I know it's possible to survive without money at times, but I end up, I know I don't have money, but I will count on Fuliza as if I'm entitled to it, as if I'm never going to pay back. But to be honest, if you need to reach a place where you're financially independent, you need to stop borrowing money from those loan apps, from the bank, from your friends, because you need to pay this money back. There is interest on top of it, and the interest you pay is a significant amount, and if it's possible to avoid such debts, please avoid. It's not a matter of life and death, so if you can avoid, please do. Let's do this. Something else, make extra cash. You don't necessarily need to go out looking for extra ways to earn income. Sometimes solutions are just inside the house. You might have clothes, electronics, and furniture that you don't need anymore. You can make extra cash by selling these items. There are apps online like gigi.com. and they also have a website. You can post your items there. There are also Facebook pages where people use sell items that they no longer use, and there are people out there who count on such items because, you know, like some people are just starting up life and they need to buy things that are very affordable to them, and you putting your items out there for sale will benefit the two of you. So sell things that you no longer need in the house. Another thing that you need to learn is buying things in bulk. If you get into a habit of buying things in bulk, you realize that you will spend less money over time, because say you buy it's cheaper, and it also help you budget better, because if you're shopping for like things, if you buy things in bulk, you'll survive several months with most of the items. Check on the expiry date and make sure that products that you're buying will last you over a longer period of time. By doing that, your little finances will take you for a long time, because if you buy dry goods, say for example, if you're buying rice, flour, sugar, and those kind of things, you might not have to buy these items for the next 2 or 3 months. So the next month you'll have more cash, because you'll not need to budget for sugar and rice and all those things that you bought the previous month. And it means that the next month you're able to save more. Another tip I'm going to give you is learn to fix things as they happen. And if there is something damaged, learn to fix it when it's costing you little money, because the more you allow things to the more you allow situations to escalate, the more you're going to spend so much money, and it might damage you so much financially. So if you have electronics, fix them as soon as you start to notice something is going wrong. That will save you a lot of money. Another thing that you need to do: stop bad habits that involve spending money. For example, if you are smoking every day a packet of cigarettes, try to minimize that amount of smoking. If you're spending 100 shillings on bad habits every day, try and deposit that money elsewhere and look for a healthier way of using that money. For example, you can look for something like traveling. If you don't travel that much because maybe you think you don't have enough money to enable you travel, try and deposit that money that you are using on a bad habit and save that money for traveling. So for example, if you're spending 100 shillings every day on smoking, try and deposit that money to maybe you can open an account with a circle, or an account that will allow you deposit and not access that money easily. So deposit 100 shillings every day and skip the smoking part. So at the end of it, you will realize how much money you've been spending on bad habits and how you can transform that bad habit into something more beneficial and more fun. So something that I've also learned over time is that if you're saving this amount of money thinking that you're going to use it for something else, please make sure that you transfer that money directly to that thing. For example, if you're cutting your hair short to avoid paying to avoid the salon expenses, please make sure that you're depositing the money that you're supposed to use in a salon somewhere. So if, for example, at the end of every month you budget 2,000 shillings for salon, and now you've cut down your hair and you want to direct this money elsewhere, direct it immediately. When you're coming up with your budget, If you wanted to cut down your hair because you wanted to travel or you wanted to buy some item, deposit that money directly, because it sucks. It's so sad. Sometimes we think we are saving money and we end up spending it elsewhere, and we don't see the benefit of saving that amount of money. So it's good if you're cutting down your expenses to do something else. Make sure that you do that thing, and remain committed. Put 100% commitment into that other thing that you're transferring your funds to. So join circles, you can join merry-go-rounds. I'm not a huge fan of merry-go-rounds because I honestly feel like I can save better on my own. But those people who are committed to merry-go-rounds, you can direct your money there, and at the end of it, make sure that you achieved that which you wanted to achieve by saving that money. And I know this is a very wide topic, and there are so many ways to look at it, and I'm going to look at all the ways, and hopefully I'll be able to create more videos with this line of thinking. And I hope today's video was helpful. If it was, please remember to hit the like button, share with friends, and also subscribe to my channel. I will really appreciate. Thank you so much for the love that you've shown so far, and I'm hoping to see you on my next video.